Welcome to the today's sessions. We have MMPM 001 Block 2 Unit 4 and today our topic is perception. So before we'll go for the perception, first I will discuss regarding what are the concept we are going to discuss. Introduction, the concept of perception, stages in the perceptual process, sensory system, sensory thresholds, perceptual selection. So here we need to understand very well there is a two terms are there, perception and reception. Reception cases mostly we will find that what the informations we are getting, we are not processing it. Mostly whatever is it coming, the replica of that we are going to do. Perception cases that the information what is it coming, so we are interpreting on the basis of our previous experience and how many other informations we got, and assembling all those informations we are interpreting. So that's why we are going for the perception having the three stages: selection, organization and interpretation. But before we will go detail about this perception, let us go difference between your sensation and perception. We have already gone through SR model, that is stimuli response model. When stimuli is coming from the different sources, it is affecting to our sensory receptors, or you can call it as sensory organs. So sensory organs are like eyes, ears, nose, mouth, then skin. And here you have written fingers because fingers touching is different from the skin. So sensation takes place when there is one of the senses being affected by the stimuli. The stimuli are coming from the different sources and bombarded from the different sources, and when it is affecting one of our receptory organs like your eyes, ears, nose, mouth or fingers, so immediately some kind of response is it coming, and that response may be it is reactive we are going to give, otherwise sometimes we are not giving any kind of reaction. But when we call it as a sensation, that means we have received the informations, that is the stimuli, and we have reacted on that. And perception is that when the stimuli is coming, so we are going to understand what kind of stimuli is it, and assembling all those things we can able to interpret what kind of stimuli is that. And that particular cases we called it as a perception. Let us go more detail about what is the perception. So stages in the perceptual process. So first starts with the exposure, attention, interpretation, memory, attitudes and brand knowledge, purchase behavior, customer experience and satisfaction. First is coming that exposure, to whom we called it as an exposure. We know it very well, our 4 P's of marketing: product, price, place, promotion. So that particular case is that in marketing, these are the sources by which we can able to know about a particular product. So first is the product. We can see the product physically, or we may see it through the internets or through the cell phones. So this is one way of exposure by which you can able to see the product. So there are other means by which we can able to know, that is advertising or any promotional scheme by which we can able to see this particular product, not physically, but we can able to see this particular product in other way. So exposure plays a vital role, but here two things are coming to picture. One thing is that whether it is capturing your attention or not. So there are two kind of things are there. That is one you can say is attention being controlled by sources, and if it is attention is not controlled by the sources, we have the selective attention. So selective attention cases, the person or the consumer is thinking what he is interested to see. So sources may not control the attention of the customers, but if the source is so strong and it can able to affect one of your sensory organs, then your attention will be there. So attention can be possible when there is a sensation. So that sensation can be possible when the stimuli from the different sources is it coming, and that is affecting one of your receptive organs. So that is what we discussed regarding ear, nose, and other things are there. So once exposure is there, so exposure can be, I told, that is product, price can be the exposure, product distribution also can be exposure. We can able to see this particular product at the different area, different locations, and sometimes we are going to say it's a dominating exposures, means one exposure which is more having the capacity to capture the attention is the dominating exposure. Sometimes because of the film stars or celebrities to who you know very well, sometimes the bigger pictures or bigger products, or sometimes looking very cute or attractive. So these kind of exposures can easy to capture the attention of the customers. And we can say also color also plays a vital role. Because of that, we know it very well, several vehicles having different colors can able to capture the attention of the customers. Organization, then interpretation. We are going more detail about this organization and interpretation in the next stages. So here, once attention is there, there is a interpretation. So we are interpreting what kind of information is it, and we ourselves is taking the decision whether the interpretation what it came, and that is essential for us or not. If it is not essential, then we are avoiding this kind of informations. That means your attention will be less. And where we'll find the interpretation is good and you like most that particular kind of product, or you require that kind of informations, there interpretation cases your attention will be more. So you interpret that that is essential for you and you are giving attention. The next is coming memory, attitudes, and brand knowledge. So here, during the interpretation, two things are happening. One thing is that either you may purchase the product if it is essential. Second is that we are going to keep it in our memory. So in memory, we have also different way. What we are going to say that is evoked set. So evoked set is what that what the brands or different kind of products we are interpreting. The most reputed brands we are trying to keep it in our evoked set. So that means that when we are selecting any brand or product to purchase, so mostly we are giving attention to the evoked set. So evoked set we have already learned through our Howard set model. I discussed it. Evoked set what the reputed brands being there, and there is a perceptual biasness towards the evoked set brands. So we have always the tendency that what brand we have already purchased or what brand already we have received or already used, that brand there is a little bit our inclination is there. That's the kind of biasness is there. So that is also affecting the perception of any new brand or new product, because always this is creating a problem to take the decisions regarding, even if also the new brand as new product is very good, but still as this brand is already too many years you have used and you have got the positive news about the product. So that's why this is disturbing, or this is also creating a problem during the decision making process. And here memory, then attitude. So your attitude developments during the interpretation takes place. So attitude may be positive or attitude may be negative. So what way you have interpreted, it is also based on the background, what I told in perception, which background you are taking this particular informations, that is positive or negative. Just like I can say that when you are in the cold climate and asking for a cold drinks, you may not like it. And when you are in the hot climates, you may, although you are not a regular drinker of the cold drinks, but your attitude is positive towards that particular time cold drinks. Even if also hot coffee you are not interested during the summer season, but when you have gone to a tourist place of high hill area, cold area, then that particular time also you will find there is a huge requirement, or your acceptability will be there and your attitude will be positive. And brand knowledge. So brand knowledge cases, every time we are interpreting a particular brand or product on the basis of the features what we got in. So more is the features we are going to know, our brand knowledge is more, and our attitude is also based on that. So sometimes what is it happening, having less knowledge about the product, sometimes the attitude is positive. By knowing more about the product, the attitude may be negative. And reverse vice versa can also be possible, that knowing less about the brand, your attitude is negative, and knowing more about the brand, your attitude is positive. So brand knowledge plays a vital role. So that's why every time you might have the knowledge regarding through the YouTube and through the other means of social system, that all the companies are trying to show their products and brands, and they are educating the people by this process. They want to change the attitude of the customers. And here, consumer perceptions of brands which are then mapped into perceptual maps. We know it very well that when it is a from company point of view, when they are sending the information to the customers, customer have a tendency to keep all the brands in a we can say that is in the dimensions, and product has n dimensions already, we have the knowledge. But if we are going to draw it in a two-dimensional place in a particular page, then you will find that the brands will come in the different quadrant. So like I can say that x-axis and y-axis. So there is a two positive quadrant, x is positive, y is positive. Then x is positive, y is negative. Then y is negative, x is positive. Like that, the four quadrants are there. So when the product is coming, by analyzing, by collecting the different kind of informations regarding the attributes and comparing with the different brands, so finally you can able to see that where your brand is there. So that is what we call it as a perceptual map. So every individual in his memory is trying to keep the brand on the perceptual map. So whether it will be in the positive quadrant or it will be in the negative quadrant, it depends on the what way the person interpreted. So attitude is positive means definitely it must be in the positive quadrant. But attribute wise, which is better, just like I can say a particular bike look wise is very nice. So positive cases, you can say that your attitude is positive towards loop. So if you have taken that one in one axis, so that particular score is high. But if the fuel efficiency is less, so that particular cases another dimensions, if you have taken it as a fuel efficiency, then automatically that particular dimensions it is lower. So when we are interpreting about a particular product, we are taking too many dimensions. So by calculating all the scores, now finally we are going to put that is a good product or a bad product or mediocre products. So on the basis of that, that remained in our perceptual map, which is available in our memory. So very often we are trying to do like that. So immediately after that, then it is coming purchase behavior. So if you have directly purchased, two things are happening. One is the we have known it very well in the case of your consumer decision making process. Immediately input, process and output. Immediately after the process, you will find two things are happening. From one point, process, that is going to the purchases. Second is going to the experience. So here you will find the experience, what it is going to, that is your perception. That means you are thinking that this is good or bad, that remained and you are not interested to purchase. But second option is what? You are going to purchase that particular product. So most of the cases, what is it happening? Either you are financially not viable to purchase all the products, that is number one. Number two, you may not require that particular product, or you are not thinking that kind of product is essential for you. So this particular category of products, you are going to take the experience. But the product cases where you will find the attitude is positive and immediately after that you are purchasing, then there is a purchase behavior. So we have the post purchase behavior, what I have already read in the case of your consumer decision making process. So post purchase behavior is once you purchase this particular product, you have some experience about the product by using this particular product, the functionality of the product and how the product is performing in the market. On the basis of that, you are going to do that. Immediately after that, customer experience and satisfaction. So what is customer experience and satisfaction means? Once we know it very well in our simplest model of consumer decision making process is the AIDAS model. AIDAS. AI means attention, interest, desire, action. And after S, we are going to say that it is satisfaction, but we have two index. One is satisfaction, second is dissatisfaction. So once attention is there, if there is a dissatisfaction, then that leads to that here you will find that purchase outcomes impact perception of brands. Means it is directly going to your memory, which is going to change the brand position. So we know very well that when the companies are trying to say that we are very often trying to reposition our product. So repositioning the product doesn't mean that it is going to change the perceptual map brand of a customer. So repositioning, always the intention is that to see their brand in the consumer's black box in a good position. But it is not always true that in your black box, by changing different kind of strategies by the companies, by repositioning, you can able to change. It is not always true. but sometimes they're trying for that. So purchase outcomes impact perception of brand. So, but it is highly acceptable that once you have reached the brand, so that is definitely going to affect the perceptual map, because if the brand is giving very nice results, so definitely you will find the positive quadrant, higher position you will find this particular brand in the perceptual map. But if the product is not performing as per the expectation of the customer, so then there will be a problem, and you will find the brand which was earlier in a better position, maybe now it is deteriorating to the inferior position. So that's why customer experience and satisfaction. So once customer purchased a particular product and used this particular product for too many years, so he has an experience or expertise on that particular product or something. So they can create also word of mouth, means when they are going to talk with the other people, they may also give positive things or negative things about the product. Sometimes we called it as also opinion leader. Some of the people in the market, they plays a very vital role as an opinion leader. Opinion leader are the people, those who are very much satisfied of a particular brand and they're talking about that particular brand. But opinion seeker cases the person who is mostly they are collecting the informations from the opinion leaders. So customer experience is what is it going to happen? Either he is fully satisfied or dissatisfied, and that experience he is going to share with the others. But this is directly going to affect to them, because in their memory, that is what we call perceptual maps, these brands are going to change the position. If that is positive or the product perform very well, so automatically you are going to find it in the positive quadrant, that brand we are going to find. But if the product is not performing well, we are definitely going to find it is the negative quadrant. So that is mostly we are going to see in the stages in the perceptual process. Now perception process. So perceptions process is started with the stage 1, stimulation, second is organization, third is interpretation, fourth is memory, and fifth is recall. So we will go for this particular stage, each and every stage is very detailed. Before that, we need to understand it very well. What is stimulation? Under stimulation, we have the selection, selective attention, selective exposure, purposive selections. So when we are going to talk regarding the stimulation, stimulations means that when the stimuli is coming and they are trying to affect our sensory organs, so it is trying to stimulate if it is possible. That if it is unable to give some sensation, then we can't say that no sensation is there. So stimulation is the process by which the stimuli can able to affect the organs, the different organs that is going to affect. So it starts with the selective attentions, then selective exposure, then purposive selection. So selective attention, as I already discussed, that every human has a likingness and dislikingness towards the different product or the services. So when we are going to find that a particular product, so that is good, bad, that is based on that the selective attentions is there. So that particular cases, he is going to select that whether he wants to see it or doesn't want to see it. Second is selective exposure. Selective exposure is you are selecting the sources, whether this source is right, this source is not right. So that you are going to verify here. And purposive selections is that you are not at all interested for a particular kind of exposure. So you are very much focused about a particular kind of things want to see, which thing you want to see or what thing you want to see, that is mostly purposive selections cases possible. Second is coming, our stage is the organization, where we are mostly going to see that how the different kind of informations being gathered together and organizing that one to got a mental picture. So that is going to happen during our prototype products, then stereotypes, personal constructs, scripts. So prototypes cases, mostly we have seen that when we have seen a particular product very small, or then we are interpreting. It's not possible that all the products which are available in the market can be come with a fully feasible commercialization cases possible. So that's why they are going for a prototype products. Mostly that when the product is completely highly priced or design, very complex design, very costly, that particular cases, most of the companies are going through the prototypes. And here stereotypes is that what we can call it is that you persons as a seen certain people that you are thinking that he might be like that. Just like we can say that Indian advertising portray women stereotype. Means whenever the advertisement is coming about the women, what we have seen that either she is cooking or she is taking care of the children, or she is doing certain activities which are usually women are doing. We have never seen that day by day that is changing. That first time they have started with one of the vehicle where it is a SUV vehicle and driven by a female person. A male characteristics things not to portray with the female, that is the kind of things mostly is it happening. Still now also you'll find 80% of the advertisements are coming under the stereotype. What is it happening in the society? That is exactly the same thing they want to show. They do not want to go against or say something which is not acceptable in the society. So stereotypes cases, what is it happening? That is the kind of things mostly they are going to portray. Children cases, women cases, religion cases, like that they are trying to do. Personal constructs is that each individual having a kind of personalities, that is you are going to do that, you need to portray. And when you are organizing the informations, that is the way you are going to do. Scripted, we are going to say sometimes, means what way it has written you are going to accept. Just like I can say very well that when that Adi Purush, that particular movie being released in India, so as it is going to affected a lot to the Hindu religion people, because that particular cases that the way they have shown it not accepted by the Indian mythology what they have represented. That means something which is already being written, the way they perform, if you are trying to change that particular thing, it is not going to be accepted and people may not accept it properly. Interpretation, that is attribution interpretation cases, you are attributing, means you are interpreting about a particular product on the basis of certain dimensions. Like we can say that majority cases we have seen customers are interpreting on the basis of few attributes, not always all the attributes. Although we are purchasing more complex product, but 70 to 80% of our decisions about a particular product is depending on only 20% of the attributes, not the 80%. And 80% of the attributes is only for 25% decision making. So that's why attribution plays a vital role, what way you have attributed this particular product to attract the customer. Self-serving bias. So this is also the practices or the thing you have used earlier. And now this particular biasness is playing a vital role, because if any product is not going through that one or having a different way of or different mode, so it may not be interpreted as per the interpretations and evaluations. And this is the we can say that finally we are going to interpret that one, that is on the basis of the evaluations we are evaluating through the different process. Like I can say that you just evaluate one electric vehicle, one petrol vehicle and one diesel vehicle to know which performance is better and which fuel efficiency is better. So that is completely based on the evaluation. So technical aspect cases we can go through the evaluation, but when it is coming self-service biasness, that is some extent emotional biasness is there. So but evaluation cases mostly emotional biasness is less, because we are doing all technically or scientifically we are trying to do. Next stage is coming your memory. Memory is dialectic, selective, and kinetic. So you, depending on that one, how agile, what the short-term memory, long-term memory you are trying to keep, and you are changing your informations every time. These are the things mostly it is going to find in the memory. So we cannot predict all the memories are same and all the memories receiving the informations in the same way. The people are in the different way to try to collect the informations. Stage recall. Recall is the more important thing. What we called it as in a long-term memory, that is mostly recalled, and short-term memory it's not recalled. Like I can say that very often when we are purchasing the day-to-day life the products, so these informations are not we have kept forever. So any brand is it coming, we are purchasing and we are also equally forgetting. But when it is a long-term product, like if you are going to purchase a TV, a washing machine or something, you are purchasing in your lifespan 3 to 4 times. So that particular cases, mostly you are taking the decisions on the basis of that, and that became with your memory. So you are recalling. So recalling cases, sometimes it is not best. That means all the information you can able to collect. So here recall cases, we can say that one is your partial recall is possible, then fully recall is possible. That is the kind of things mostly they're trying to do. That is a clue based. Non-clue based means if you are going to give the clues, then that particular time the person can able to recall, and if you are not giving clue, then he cannot recall. So that particular cases we can predict that without clue which can be recalled is the acceptability of that information is very high, and with clue if you are unable to recall, it means that acceptability of that particular information is very low. So that is unable to affect a lot to your memory. So that has happened. Now, let us go through the sensory stimulation and selections. What we have already discussed, that is sensory stimulation is self-defining. Our senses are bombarded by the stimuli, and we hear, touch, taste, see, smell something. So sensory stimulation cases means we can say that instantly there is a sensory organ can able to know something is happening. Means if I can say that if AC is too cold, then you can able to know instantly. If you have taken chips with more spices there, so you can able to know it very fast. If you are touching something, it's very hot, then you can know. So the sensory stimulation, it depends on the kind of the stimuli, what is it coming, and the intensity of the stimuli. Intensity of the stimuli is very high, so definitely the sensory stimulations will be very strong. So sensory selection is the process of determining which stimulus get our attention and which stimuli we ignore. So when we are, I told that is a selective attention versus attention. So you are not giving attention to a particular stimuli, means that is not going to affect you. Like we know it very well that when we are moving by a vehicle, so many kind of sounds are coming from the different sources. So our attention is more focusedly that any other vehicle is it coming from out front side or something like that. Or people are talking inside the chamber of the car also, we are not attentive to that because our sensory, we have not giving more importance to that area. So that is mostly sensory selection. So we are going to select what to receive, what not to receive. That is controlled by ourselves. But it is not 100% true that you can control entire stimuli. But some extent you can able to control that. 4 factors influence your sensory selection. So first is the needs. What you require. Let us say I am feeling hungry now. So my first priority is that to search the hotels or the food item, where is it available, or what kind of food I should take it. So needs plays a vital role. So that is attention is more towards that. I do not want to think about any pain in my body or something. But once that need is fulfilled, so instantly then I'm going to think that my pain with my food or something like that. So that's why needs plays a vital role. So where the need is more important, that particular cases our attention is more towards that. Second is interests. So sometimes what is it happening, our interest area means when we are going to a particular stall or shopping mall. So very often we have seen, although we are moving with the family, but the family members are in the different section. That is only because of their area of interest is different. Some of the people might be in the dress area, some of the people might be in the ornament area, some of the people might be in the high engineering area or technical part area. You find that is the interest they have. So that's why that is the selections they are trying to do. Expectations. Sometimes expectations are there. What we expect this kind of thing. So definitely our attention will be more towards that. Sometimes when you are going to the shopping mall, we are searching any new product is available in the market. So our expectation, whether it is meeting to our expectation or not. If the product is available, if this is the price, whether it is my expectations can able to fulfill or not. So that is also another way by which it is going to affect your sensory system. Physiological limitations, that what extent you can do. Like I can say that there are n number of retail outlets are available in the market. Can it be possible everyone to go to search every retail outlet, then after that you can finalize about the product? Not possible, because that is physiological limitations. You cannot move, you cannot also more time can spend on that one. So with a limited, what is the things you can do, and you are going to select the sensory out of that one. Sometimes it happening also online also. So it's not possible always that to go through the entire products through the online and all the products. So very specific products we can able to go through that. Stage 2 is the organization. I already discussed regarding that one. Organization cases, mostly we are joining the informations together to make it as a clear mental picture. So organization is the process of taking the stimuli and putting it to some pattern can able to recognize. Means if it is non-recognizable, then it is quite difficult to perceive about the product. So often we have seen different kind of objects, different kind of things, and we are unable to interpret what kind of object is it and how we are going to use this kind of product in where. So that particular cases, remembering that kind of product is quite difficult. Rather than if you can able to identify, you can able to know the product. So that is the kind of things it is quite easy for you to perceive. Like if I'm going to talk regarding the vegetables, if I'm going to talk regarding a new product came to the market and you are unable to know what kind of product is it, so your attention will be limited, or you may not develop any kind of attitude or perception towards that particular product. Gesture theory is going to say that a pattern or shape, mostly it is going to be blended, we are accepted, or on the basis of that we are very often trying to think. Like I can say that the shapes of the soaps, if I'm going to talk that, you may like a particular shapes of soap, you may like, or vehicle cases also very often is it happening that a particular kind of cars we are going to select, and the car look is not like that, we may not select. So same patterns of the cars, like earlier there is a Jeep form of any vehicle is it coming, mostly people are not interested for that is Jeep, then it is wheels, then other things are coming, so people may not select it very well, that it's not looking very nice. But after the SUV came, that people, that is perception being changed, that they are very much interested nowadays for the SUV rather than once upon a time where the importance is more for the sedan car. Day by day, the perception is changing. People are shifting from the sedan car to the SUV, and they are ready to pay more amount of money for the SUV cars. So that is what gesture theory is going to say. Process stimuli is the complex process, blending external stimuli into the internal processes. So here what it is that in our mind, what kind of pattern, like we have known that sedan car is looking very nice. So always we expect that the shape of the car might be like sedan, so that I can accept. So whatever already kept in our memory, what kind of shapes and sizes, the colors, so that kind of things will be highly acceptable. But if something new thing is it coming, so it is quite difficult for your memory to accept and adjust. But in the latter on, I can say that if it is a long-term process, might be that will change, but it will take at least more number of years to change from one shape and patterns to another shape and patterns. Now within that also, let us go through that 4 variables affecting stimuli when we encounter, means when we have seen the different kind of objects and products in the market. So these are the things mostly going to affect to us. First is the patterns. Patterns are the pre-existing templates we use to order stimuli. Means what I told that shape, sizes, that is a very nice example we can say regarding chips. So chips format, you will see they have started with the circular, that is elliptical, you can say circular elliptical chips are there, and immediately after that bingo started with that triangular, and immediately that kurkure started with teda meda. So these are the different shapes and patterns they experimented with the children, and we came to see that different children are selecting the different patterns, like they like their most that if it is a triangular, or they are liking a most if it is a elliptical, like that. So that's the kind of things mostly they are going for. Proximity. So proximity cases, we have seen that how these people are going to make these similar or dissimilar products, and here you can able to see that the same product can be observed in 2 different ways. Like I can say that if it is a figure ground relationship, if I'll see in the right hand side is a very nice picture where you can perceive it very nicely, that this object, if I'll see on the basis of figure, that is the white color, we can able to see that either it is a metal, or we can say it is a form of glass to take water, liquor, or something kind of things. But if I'll study only the black part, and that is the ground, then I can say that 2 faces are there. 2 faces are with 2 long nose, that we can able to see. So seeing a particular object, two things are coming. Just like I can say that if I'll show a half-filled glass of bottle, then people are going to interpret like that this is half-filled glass water, and somebody is going to say it is half emptied glass, water glass. So like that, what way people are trying to interpret is on the basis of how they can able to interpret on the basis of object versus the or figure versus the ground relationship. Now, when you are going to talk regarding simplicity, it is quite difficult that it's a any particular product when you are going to see how easily we can able to understand and how simple we can able to understand it very well. Like I can say that stereotype thinking, what I already thought of that. A tall man can walk very fast, a shorter man cannot walk very fast, and that is the kind of concepts already we have observed through that when first time Maruti company came to the Indian market with very small wheel, Maruti 800 vehicle. Everybody thought of that this vehicle will not move very fast because the wheels are very small. So that concept later on being changed, what we called it as a stereotypes, that small wheel vehicles will not move very fast. And Indian people are mostly very much interested for the bigger wheels. So that's why even if also in Luna, Panther, all those brands cases, we have seen the bigger wheels are there. And stereotypes with women also, what kind of I told that they are cooking, they are dressing up, doing all these things. So whenever these kind of concepts are coming, so mostly we are connecting that one with that one. Just like I can say that the example of fair and lovely cases, mostly they are going to that anybody is not in the fair complexion, so that is gone that this one, and that is targeted to the women, and immediately when they have seen that the fair and lovely cannot be used by the female person, they have started with the fair and handsomes with that one. So stereotype thinking is that on the sex, then skin colors and other cases also that is possible. Closure is what that we have seen that every pictures or every informations what we are trying to see, we have a tendency to close it out. If it is a half circle being somebody has drawn, so what we are going to do, the part which is missing, we are going to put it and going to say it has written that it is a circle. Like here it has written, everybody is going to say it has written the THE, but there is no THE being written. You will find that lines are there only. One parallel line, one straight line, another line in the top is bent, then second line is looking like Z, third line is like that. So you can say like this, but nobody is going to answer like this because it is a what we called it as a closure. So we are trying to draw the other lines which are missing, and finally we are interpreting the what it has written on the board is the that is TH there. So this is what we called it as a closure. So closure kind of things also very often is it happening that without having sufficient information, sometimes putting our own informations there and getting a particular kind of picture out of that. So that is what we call it as closure. Now the third stage is the interpretation. The interpretation stage is where we make sense of what we have experienced. We determine what it means. So interpretation stage is all the informations what we gathered and organized. Now it is the time to resemble what the pictures we have seen, whether you have seen that kind of picture earlier or not. If you have seen that picture earlier, then that is available in your memory, and we are trying to match it to know that whether this kind of product is there or not. If this is not like that, then we are not going to predict this product is something different. So our perception is not possible if we are unable to interpret it fully. Here it is, some effects are coming like your halo effect. So it is a human tendency that to observe anybody and give the interpretation about that particular person of the objects by only 1-2 dimensions, but not considering all the dimensions. Sometimes is it happening also when we have seen like when Bajaj company first started with the scooter, everybody has the same concept that Bajaj cannot make a bike because he's very thorough in scooter. So we have always having the tendency to only one dimensions we are trying to study the objects and the products. So on the basis of that, we are predicting that that particular company cannot produce or this product cannot perform very well like that. So that is what we called it as in the halo effect. Then here assume similarity and assume dissimilarities. So it is a human tendency that to similarity in what basis and dissimilarity in what basis. So nowadays we know it very well that when we are going through the internet, the comparative analysis of two brands or two products, so we are always opting for the what are kind of similarities and dissimilarities are there. Like gadgetguru.com's, the other websites are available where we can able to compare with the different brands. It may be cars comparative analysis, it may be bikes comparative analysis, it may be gadgets comparative analysis. All those cases we are trying to see the similarities and dissimilarities. And they are gender wise, what are the similarities and dissimilarities in the product, age wise, similarities and dissimilarities, body fittings wise, dresses also you are going to find, demeanor and dresses. So all those cases, the similarities and dissimilarities wise, we are developing our perception. That is good or bad, whatever we are trying to say, we are going to keep it in our memory sets. So on the basis of that. Now, self-fulfilling prophecies, it has three stages. One is prediction, then action, then verification. So what is going to happen that when the things are there in the market, we are going through the predicting that this product may be like that. And then we are going to see the actions, what kind of things can be possible that this is right or wrong like that. And finally, we are verifying whether that is that or not. This product, what we have predicted or what we have seen, actually that is that product or not product. So that is perception cases as the different stages we are perceiving, and every time we are verifying that one. So last stage is the verification, when we are going to see whether whatever we have predicted from the beginning, that is right or wrong. That is being predicted and verified at the end. Perceptual defense. So perceptual defense is our drive to maintain existing or the strongly desired interpretation. So we have a tendency to defend that whatever we know, that is right. Whatever the new things is it coming, that is wrong. Means just like I can say that the recently hybrid technology came to the car. So people are thinking that how can it be possible that the new vehicles having more weight can give more mileage. So that is a new concept which is coming to the market. Sometimes we do not have much more knowledge. So we are trying to defend whatever our knowledge base, that this is strongly right or wrong. So that is your interpretation is based on your level of knowledge and also based on also level of knowledge you want to accept for yourself. If you are not accepting, then that is quite difficult to interpret whether this is good or bad. Social pressure. So social pressure, belongingness and fundamental human drives. So many other sources by which the informations are coming. People are trying to educate, and people are, you can able to know. Like I can say that during the COVID time, we can able to see that the different timing the people perceptions are different. Those who have gone as a patient, those who have faced this kind of challenges, those who have stayed in metro, those who have stayed in abroad. So the social pressures are different. As per the social pressure, their interpretations are also different. They have interpreted in a different way. Now we will go through the schematic representation of the perceptual process. So here our stimuli, that is sight, sound, smell, taste, texture, these are the things already we have discussed, but we will go some extent more about this one to understand it properly. So here sensation. Sensation takes place whenever it is a sensory receptors capture the attention, then interpretation. And after that the response is coming in your case of your perception. So sensory receptors, when it is receiving, that is what I discussed from the beginning, is being affected by too many things, because the stimuli is coming from the different sources. So which stimuli is accepted and which stimuli the attention is low, that based on that particular human being who is giving the attention. Sometimes some of the stimuli can able to affect everybody because the kind of exposure, or I can say that the dominance of the stimuli. If the dominance of the stimuli is very high, definitely it is going to affect everybody. But sometimes depending on the dominance, it is also based on the kind of receptor which stimuli they can able to accept, or they have the interest. On the basis of that, their sensory reception got sensation can be possible. So here sensory receptors, after that we have the attention, then interpretation is there, then response, and finally we are perceiving whether it is a good product, bad product, good information, bad information. So everything we are trying to keep it in our perceptual map, and that remain with us. So stages in the perception process is first primitive categorization. The basic characteristics of stimuli are selected by the person to form its perception. So from the beginning, what you know, just like I can say that when you grown up as a children, as a child, and after that you are growing up. So every stages you are going to get the same information in the different way. So what way you have interpreted from the beginning, that may change or that may not change also. Like I can say that a child is from the beginning is very much afraid of something, so that will remain for his life, or that is the same child, maybe the condition may got also, he can able to see whatever he has seen in the child stage may be changed. So that is primitive categorization cases, that from the starting whatever they have seen or get the amount of information what he got, that may change with the situation and time. Q check, the Q check characteristics are analyzed by the person in the preparation of the selection of the schema. So sometimes you are interested for a particular product because of certain things are available, which is not so important, but having sometimes importance for certain people. Like I can say that in a car, the position of the mirror is may not be vital, but some of the people may like it. Sometimes we will find also the position of the car, the camera, they also like most what way they can. The 360-degree camera, if it is available in the car, whether it is essential or not, that is also based on the customers are going to take the decisions. Your driving positions, your kind of steering, the shape and sizes of the steering, and then the things what is it available with you. So everything customer to customer, the changes are there. The dashboard look also sometimes plays a vital role. Some of the people, although everything is same, but the Q check, we can say that some way is it different, which is capturing the attention of the customers. Conformational check, then once the scheme is selected, the conformation check is run by the person to see validity. So once you have seen certain things and you are checking, that is the utility, and that product utility in that particular sections, and whether that is performing as per your requirement or as per your expectations, or that is for a showcase or some kind of things for that they are going to use. So that is you are also equally trying to confirm that particular check. Confirmation completion, the last and the final stage, that when you are confirming, then you have to see the each and every attribute of that one, what you have selected, that is really giving certain kind of weightage to you or not. If it is not giving, then you are not confirmed and you are not interested to select that particular thing. So that is mostly confirmation, selection, confirmation completion can be possible. Sensory system, external stimuli or sensory inputs can be received from the number of sources, what we discussed also from the beginning, and that is creating actually history imagery. Sometimes some of the images are always with our brain, and which is actually restricting some of the informations which are similar to that kind of informations. So if some informations you got very wrong and similar informations are coming, then you may not receive it. Sometimes it is happening also. We can put some extent also that in the stereotype that these are always same kind of things is it coming, so we are not. So that history imagery, always trying to see that the imagery must not be same, what the imagery is it available. If it is same, then the chances of that kind of stimuli acceptance will be less, so sensitization will be less. Fantasy imagery is the result when the entire new imagery experience is evoked by the sensory data. So sometimes we are going to a new area or new tourist places or something like that. So there is a fantasy imagery is there, some new concept being seen, highly acceptable. That concept you have not seen earlier. So it's a new experience of that services or new experience about that particular kind of product or something like that. You may like it kind of things. Here it is, the 5 things are there. We already studied this one, this vision to see and any product look wise or the color wise, the shape wise, size wise, what is affecting to your vision. Second is smell. We can say the perfume, the deos, then the other things also smell wise. Sometimes also you'll find that certain products are based also on the smell wise, that when you are selecting furnitures, if the wood smell is not good also, sometimes we may not select that particular kind of product. Sound has also equal impact if you are going to select any particular TV or sound system, or even if also nowadays the selection of refrigerator or selection of washing machine is based on soundless. So soundless things are mostly. So what way these musics are coming from the sound, then soundless products are better accepted in the market. So that people are going trying to give also more importance to that. Touch. Moods are stimulated and relaxed on the basis of sensation of the skin, whether for a luxury basis. So we can say that sometimes also the parlors, how they are giving the massage, or that is we can say physiotherapy, what kind of therapy are they giving. So our interpretation is based on the therapy what they have given. So we are perceiving that some of the organizations or medical systems, those who are providing a better services by which also several patients been recovered. So we can predict about that, yes, their touch therapy and other things are better than others. So that we are going to see. Taste wise, very often we know it very well. Majority of the products, whether it is in the Indian context, abroad, each individual has a special attention to a particular kind of taste. Might be people are living in the eastern region of India, may not like the south side food, or south side living people may not like the north side food, or north side people may not like the west side food. Like that, the taste, the flavor, the preparation, everything is based on that. So hotel industries mostly will find they are always in very strong in that particular local area. So because they know it very well, 60 to 70% of the customers which are coming to the hotels are from the local. So that's why they always try to study it very well, that what is the taste and preferences of the local people. On the basis of that, they are going to give. So sensory thresholds is a fact that there are some stimuli that people simply are not capable of perceiving. So a minimum level of sensory things will be there so that a person can able to perceive. Like if you are making some kind of noise and people are unable to recognize. So you know it very well that when the child is crying, if it is unable to cry in a louder voice, people are unable to recognize what it has happened. So sometimes that is plays a vital role to know. Sensory threshold is that the sound which can able to affect your, or it can create the sensation. Absolute threshold, when we define the lowest intensity of the informations must be there. It may be a picture mode or color mode or the sound mode, which can able to affect your one of the sensory organs. So if it is unable to affect, means that is not the absolute threshold is there. So you need to maintain a minimum level of that is stimuli so that it can able to affect the sensory organs. Differential thresholds mostly maintained by the different two stimuli. That's like I can say that how two different brands being accepted in the market on the basis of packaging. If the colors are same, then it is quite difficult. Just like I can say that if you are going to sell Pepsi Cola and Coca Cola in a glass, nobody can able to know that which is a Pepsi Cola and Coca Cola. But by the taste, they can able to differentiate that this is Coca Cola and this is Pepsi. But when they are packaging, then you can able to see that the bottles are different with the different packaging. If I'm going to talk in also same cases in the salt, all the salt colors might be same. So that particular cases, if that the packaging being maintained, then you can say that is the differential threshold by which you can say this is a Tata salt, this is another brand Annapurna salt, like that you can able to do that. Just noticeable differences. So this is more important, that how you can able to justify that your brand is different. Very often that is happening in the market, and we are being also confused by the dummy brands, or we can say that cheat brands also, we can say they are the substitute brands. They have almost similar kind of brand names. They have been written, the colors and everything else. So this is the reputed companies, they have to maintain JND, that is just noticeable difference, so that a customer will be quite easy to understand and can differentiate. Just like I have given the example, just like Fair and Lovely, we may get n number of brands of Fair and Lovely, like Fair and Fair, Fair and Lovely. The colors are almost same. So the noticeable difference is that here Fair and Lovely has written, and the font size is also there. The size of the letters are also different. So that must be known by the customer to differentiate this product to the next product. So that importance must be there. Now, subliminal perception. Subliminal perception is that stimulus is below the absolute threshold level. So when very often when we people are moving in the different area and we are unable to recognize few retail outlets, few hotels, what is the reason behind that one? This the reason is what, that sometimes the hotel is unable to see properly from the roadside, or these hotels are very small, or their posters not being written in the right way, or the poster being written about color faded, or the contents must be very small. So that particular cases we can say that it is not going to create the conscious awareness. It will not create the conscious awareness because the minimum level they have not maintained. So when a particular company is trying to do the advertisements, and very often we have seen that is the advertisements on the board and other things we have seen. So the minimum level of letter sizes must be there, and color must be there, and space must be there, so that from a distant or anybody is moving by the vehicle can able to recognize that one. So that is the absolute threshold must be maintained. So subliminal perception cases that. So subliminal techniques are what? Embeds. Embeds are the teeny figures that are often inserted into print advertisement. So you sometimes you attached some pasted, some pictures are coming out, or you focus some light on that, like that. Something, some technology might be you are going to use by which from a distance people can able to do, or you can do something speed up the process if it is through the internet, so that people can able to see something is there, banner advertisement or flashing, this particular thing you can do by which people can able to recognize it. Auditory message, subliminal message is sometimes so many news are coming, or so many informations are coming, and you must be attentive to that one. But it is not possible that even if also you are attentive, you are unable to know, because the message what is it coming through the auditory is not coming the right way, or the information is not sufficient. So in order to get this particular information, sufficient sound must be there, or you have to make the auditory system such a manner so that people from a distance can able to recognize it and they can able to know it very well. So auditory message, that's why it is important. It must be acoustic systems where you can able to do that one, or you may arrange that kind of things people can able to recognize, or you maintain some kind of thing where from a distance also so many auditory messages will come also, that your auditory message will dominate to the left, so that people can able to accept it. Customer folklore. So here, hidden self-help message on recording. Some consumers have become concerned about marketing rumors and also called the consumer folklore. So here, these kind of rumors are very often is it happening, and we know it very well during the pandemic. This has a great role, and you know it very well. These kind of systems are very often countries are trying to do during the pandemic or during the war, because lot of rumors they want to do where people are panic about that. Like you know it very well when first time started with our lockdown system in India, people do not have the knowledge what is a lockdown, and that particular time everybody was purchased too much. That is what we called it as a panic buying. Because of the panic buying, then lot of product shortages in the market has happened. So these kind of things should not be happen, so that we have to check the rumors. But day by day, because of the social media, the rumors are also going up. So when the rumors are coming, it is very much essential for the persons to verify the sources, whether that is the authentic sources or not, and on the basis of that, you are going to take the decisions of that. Lower level auditory stimulations, so techniques known as psychological acoustic persuasions does appear in work. Some evidence indicates, however, these messages are effective only on individuals whose value systems make them predisposed to suggestion. So low level auditory stimulations means if it is coming, but still the message is very important, and the message is very much related to that one, that particular time, that is coming to the predisposed. We already studied in the Howard-Set model, that is a predisposition, where predisposition cases, this is one of the object information is going up, or the brand name is more popular being shown there. So that is mostly, if it is important, that is being predisposed, and customer will take the decisions on that, and he has a positive attitude toward that one, and that is happening in the perception, and that information will be kept in our perceptual map. So thanking you. I think that today's session is very interesting one. Thank you.